Hello everyone, this is Brad with RealSimGear. Today we're going to do a quick tutorial on using Navigraph to update the default navigation database found within X-Plane. We often get asked the question, how do you do this? How do you get the latest and greatest approach charts and nav aids, IFR routes, etc.? The recommended method to do this is to use Navigraph and a Navigraph data subscription to get, download, and install the database updates. So to get started with this, simply navigate in your browser to navigraph.com. There's a link found below. And once you get to the Navigraph website, go to the second tab over on the top menu bar and choose Products. Then on the Products page, simply choose the Purchase Subscription option, which is on the right-hand side, and that'll show you the different subscription options that are available for Navigraph. The two options that they have are the Ultimate and the FMS Data Only. Now, if all you're interested in is getting updated nav data into X-Plane, you can simply choose the FMS Data Only, or you can choose the Ultimate, and the Ultimate happens to be the version that I use. The Ultimate comes with both the FMS data updates as well as access to the Navigraph charts that can be accessed either via their website or via their standalone app, Navigraph Charts. Both of these options allow you to do flight planning within their app or on their website. It gives you a moving map capabilities, as well as to be able to pull up and view charts right there within the application. So go ahead and choose which subscription option is best for you. When you click on the subscribe, it's going to obviously prompt you to create an account, put in your payment information, and get you all set up with that subscription. So once you've got the subscription and your account set up, navigate back to this page and choose under FMS Data Manager. And we're going to download this Data Manager. If you scroll down, you can download the manager for Windows right here. Gives us a nice GUI interface in which we can manage the data subscriptions and get them put into X-Plane. So go ahead and download and install that. First time you start up FMS Data Manager, you're going to have to enter your credentials as created on the Navigraph website. Once you do that and log in, it's going to first check to make sure that you have a subscription, and then once it's done that, it's going to ask you if you want to scan for add-ons that have already been put on your system. So I'm going to go ahead and choose yes. And it'll go through that pretty quickly. It may find add-ons that were added before, it may find simulators, but we're going to double check to make sure that the settings have been set. On the top bar here, let's go ahead and move over to settings. That'll open up the settings. There's a couple of things that you may want to change. One is notifications. So if you want Navigraph to start up every time you load your computer and go out and check for database updates, it'll give you a notification here when it finds it. That way you don't have to remember to check every time a new era comes available. The Data Manager will do that for you and give you a notification that there's an update that's available. Now the next thing you need to do in the paths section is you need to make sure that your simulator is correctly detected or configured here. Now I happen to have prepared version 3 and 4 on here, and it found it when it did the scan. For some reason it did not find X-Plane 11, so I'm going to go ahead and manually put that in here. So just click on the little folder icon, navigate to where your X-Plane 11 folder is, and you actually have to choose the executable. So double click on the xplane11.exe, and that'll fill that in. So once you've done that, click the Save button. Okay, once those settings have been saved, let's go back to the add-on mappings. Now there's a couple of ways you can do this. I'm going to walk you through the manual method because it's just quicker and it gets you to the endpoint faster. You can also use the scan option, which is where Navigraph will go out and try to find all of your different aircraft or database types. Again, I find it better to just use the manual method. So let's click on the Add button. And then you see that we've got two drop-downs, right? So please select an add-on. We're going to select that drop-down. And you'll notice that Navigraph will support updating a whole variety of different flight simulators and or database types within those flight simulators. So if you happen to have some of these other simulators, you can also use Navigraph to update those. Because this tutorial is focused on X-Plane 11, we're going to look at these two options here. We're going to install both X-Plane 11 as well as the X-Plane GNS 430 option. The difference between them is X-Plane 11 is the database that is used by most of the modern avionics, so the G1000s. The GNS 430, as the name suggests, is what the older 430 and 530 systems use. So we need to put both of those in there. So let's go ahead and choose X-Plane 11, and we're going to say install into. In this dropdown, we can just say X-Plane 11 because it already knows where X-Plane 11 is based on the fact that we set that in settings. Now we need to add a second one, so we'll do that. Scroll down and hit the GNS 430. In this one, we're going to install to X-Plane 11, and you can see it automatically added a GNS 430. So what it's going to do is it's going to create a subfolder within the custom data in which to install. So go ahead and click Save. Now, real quickly, if I open up a file manager and I look in X-Plane 11 custom data, that's where all of this data is going to ultimately go to. So right now it's empty. So let's go ahead and populate that with the navigation database. So once we've done the add-on mappings and we've saved it, let's go back to add-on lists, which is the first tab on the top right. And you can see a couple of things. One is it's detected that these are both X-Plane 11 databases, and it says that they're ready to update. Now, because we don't have a database yet, it doesn't find an older version. Once you've got this installed the first time, from here on out, it'll always show you the version that's installed, and then you can compare that against the current AIRAC cycle, which is up here in the upper right-hand corner. So the easiest way to do this is to simply click the box at the top. You can also manually click each one of these and hit the update button. Now, a couple of things will happen. You'll see you've got some progress down here on the very bottom left. Show you the progress, and you can also get kind of a visual indication of what's happening up here. So this will take a couple minutes to download both databases. Just be a bit patient as it downloads. Once it's finished, we'll come back and show you the result. Okay, the data manager has finished installing both these databases, and you'll see that now we have green icons over here that show the AIRAC version, which is 1912 Rev 1. And because that matches the 1912 in the upper right-hand corner, these are both green. Now, once the next AIRAC comes out, which I guess will probably be 2001, these will go yellow, that indicating that they need to be updated. And you should also get an update via the data manager if you configured it in the settings earlier on. Now, it should be noted, these databases do not update themselves. You have to manually update them each and every time. So once you get an update notification, either via email or via the data manager, you simply start up the data manager. Again, you would click the checkbox here to highlight both of them and hit the update, and it'll do the exact same thing it did when you installed it the first time. It'll download the updates, apply the updates, and then these icons will go green with the appropriate updated database. So now if we go back to our Windows Explorer view, you'll notice that in custom data we now have a bunch of files as well as a couple of folders. The CIFP folder is what contains the X-Plane data, this one here, and the GNS 430 is what contains the data for the GNS 430. And the rest of this information just tells X-Plane that this is an override database to the internal database that comes within X-Plane. That's all you need to do to use Navigraph to update and keep your navigation database up to date. If there's any further questions about how to use Navigraph, I would direct you to the support page on navigraph.com/support for any questions that you may have. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll enjoy your updated navigation database.